G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Otherwise, we're going to jump straight in. As you can see, currently at Ace rank with um, quite a few battles done this season in comparison to my previous seasons. I've been giving it a little bit of a break recently. With that being said, let's just jump straight in. So we've got the Great League Remix. And the Pokemon that I'm going to be running is Galvantula with Volt Switch, Lunge, and Discharge, Diggersby with Mud Shot, Fire Punch, and Earthquake, and then Jellicent in the back with Hex, Bubble Beam, and Shadow Ball. So I've gone Bubble Beam over Surf. Whether it's a good thing or not, unsure. So Surf is the recommended move, but if you can bait with a Bubble Beam, it's absolutely spectacular. If you can't bait with a Bubble Beam, then Surf obviously is going to be doing a lot more damage than Bubble Beam. So it just depends on what you want to do. So let's jump into some battles and see how we go. So hopefully we can match up against something nice. So Jellicent into Galvantula, so positive matchup for me. Um, and we'll see what they want to do. So going to stay in, apparently. Expect them to possibly want to get out of there. So I'm going to throw straight into Discharge. Lots of people don't like shielding up the first charge moves of Galvantula because they think you're going to be throwing Lunge. And this one's no exception. And oh, that's brutal. And off they go. So that's possibly one of the fastest matches I've managed to win. I guess they just over tapped there. So the plan was to at least get a charge move off against the Galvantula, but as they didn't, they just said good game right there and then. So no idea what they had in the back, and I mean, it's not impossible to win from that position, but it obviously is a little bit tricky. So one of the Pokemon that gives me the most trouble is a Scrafty in the back. So Scrafty does really well against both my Diggersby and my Jellicent, and in this match, foreshadowing, leads into a Scrafty, which is okay. So the best Pokemon I have to deal with Scrafty is the Galvantula. So if I'm going to match up against a Scrafty in the opposition's team, then I'm going to be wanting Galvantula to be matched up against it. So Power Up Punch, and I'm just going to let that first one go. Unfortunately, we don't see MP, and they do get a little extra move through there. So I'm going to lunge at it and drop its attack. So it just lifted its attack with the power up punch, but I'll drop it back down. So it is neutral at the moment, and I suspect that they're going to power up punch me again. I think it was too quick to get to the other, and we'll see what they want to do. So going to throw the next lunge, and we'll see if they shield this one up or not. They don't. They let it go, and I'm able to win switch, and out comes Stunfisk, which is also fine. So Stunfisk. To be honest, Diggersby matches up really well against it, so the normal, not the Galarian, and they didn't quite KO me there with that, so I'm able to get to another lunge and not only put some pressure on its health, but to drop its attack. So when my Diggersby does come in, it's going to be doing even less damage. So we'll see if they want to swap this out. So they don't. They're going to let this go. So I'll just continue on and see what they want to do. So they're going to be throwing mud bombs. There's no point in throwing discharge because it's just going to do absolutely nothing. So out comes. So they swap in, and both of my Pokemon do well here. I do want to swap into my Jellicent. I'll just throw my Earthquake there, and they no-shield the Earthquake. That is brutal. And Jellicent is going to be able to farm this all the way down. Both of its charge moves, so Brine and Sludge Bomb. A Sludge Wave, I think it is, actually. Yeah, Sludge Wave, there it is. Brine and Sludge Wave are both resisted, so it's just not really got much play. So if you can match your Jellicent up there, happy days. So able to get that win as well, and that was another one that was quite good for me. A bit of well, I guess positive for me in the lead, especially looking at my back line, but able to take the win there, which is really nice. So we'll jump into match number 3 and maybe we'll get a little bit longer of a match. I do really like this team. Galvantula obviously does have some big weaknesses. So fire and rock types are never fun, but we'll see how we go. So for this one, so Galvantula, into Jump Pluff. So both of their, well, both of the Volt Switch, so Lunge or Discharge, are going to be doing neutral damage, just because of the flying and grass typing. So obviously, Bug is going to be super effective against grass, but then it's going to be resisted by flying. So all doing neutral damage, which is very nice. So they've thrown an acrobatic, whatever charge move it is. Shielded up the first one just because I know I can get to a second lunge before they can get to a move. And I'm going to force them to possibly, we'll see what they want to do, and I can probably tank this one. So it's better to have get the move after you've so shield up early because the more you lunge, the less damage these moves are going to do. And now I'm going to be able to just farm it all the way down, hopefully. Ooh, very close, but able to get there. So we'll see what comes out now. And it's a Quagsire. So seems to be a popular choice, seeing as Swampert I don't think is available for this league. So people are replacing it with a Quagsire. And if they don't throw energy, I'm going to be able to get to another one, and I'm able to get there. So thankfully, I got there, and we also CMP tied, which means they're going to waste some energy after this. We'll have a look, yeah. And I imagine they will undercharge because they'll want to try it, but I've got that little health that it pretty much won't matter what they do, it's going to KO me. So they swap into their own Jellicent to counter mine, and I'm actually going to swap into my Diggersby here, and I'm not going to shield anything up. I should be able to get to a earthquake before they take me out. So surfs are actually the only thing that will hurt me here, and unfortunately they get to another one. So I'm going to let that go, and then we'll see what they want to do. So they're going to have to shield something up eventually, and I'm hoping that it's this. So we'll see if we can bait with a Fire Punch, and we'll go from there. So we'll see what they want to do, and they do grab the shield. So that's really good, and hopefully we'll be able to get to the Earthquake. We're able to get there, but we see MP tied, and I'm just going to let it go. So that's unfortunate, but that's fine. Gonna have to let that go and then save a shield. So hopefully they want to shield up again, and because I'm going to bait again, which is a risky move here, but we'll see what they want to do. And we need to be, yeah, so grab the second shield. So 2 baits there is really, really nice. We need to be careful on not throwing our energy when they swap in, which they have done. I'll let this go, and then I'm going to look to farm this all the way down, and just so I've got energy when the Jellicent comes back in, and I've got the shield, so going to be able to, well, now I'm going to be using my shield. So even if it is just the surf, which I suspect it will be, yeah, so it's just the surf coming through, I'll be able to throw my Shadow Ball and get the win. So don't, is it going to be enough? Jellicent's an awfully thick Pokemon, so it may not actually KO it. It does. Didn't realize it had quite as little health as it did, so happy days, able to take the win there. So by purely sacking the Diggersby, was able to get the win, and also getting 2 baits was very nice. But to be fair, I had enough energy. I could have thrown the Shadow Ball both times and ended up with the win. So able to get that win, which is nice. I do really like this team. Galvantula, like I said, on the lead is a bit questionable because it is such a glassy Pokemon. It can be, if it gets walled on the lead, you're in a little bit of trouble. So Golbat on the lead. This Golbat on the lead has been a really popular one, and this is a good matchup here. So I'm going to, let's throw these Volt Switches out, and I'm just going to go straight for lunge. So I know that this is going to be a Poison Fang, but I do shield it up, which is potentially not the best move because it does drop my defense. It's probably pointless shielding up the first one. even though now I drop the attack, so it sort of is neutral here, whether it's doing damage or not. So this next one's going to do a lot of damage here. And so we'll see what they want to do. So it's going to, oof, that does do a lot of damage. So going to throw, but what I'm going to do is throw the next one here, overcharge just a little bit, and this will be enough to KO unless they want to use a second shield, and they don't. So able to win that matchup, which is nice. And then out comes a Scrafty, which is not ideal for me. So this is the worst case scenario. Scrafty came out, farm down, has energy. Just brutal. Um, so this is going to be an uphill battle, and it'll be interesting to see what they have in the back. I need to let this go. It is going to be a power-up punch, and they're going to be power-up punching the entire time. And so here, what I probably should have done is come in with my Jellicent, but Jellicent just does no damage to the dark type there. So I'm going to have to throw this Fire Punch and try and bait out a shield. If I can grab a shield, happy days, and I'm able to grab the shield. We'll see what they want to do. And they swapped in and caught the move on their Golduck, which is actually okay for me. I would have much rather that they didn't, and it's a shadow. So I want to go a little bit over here in terms of getting some energy. And obviously, I'm going to save my shield for the Diggersby. If I can get to the Earthquake on the Diggersby, I should be able to take the match. So we'll see. And I just want to, I'm not going to shield, let this go. If they power up punch me, then I win. If they foul play me, then it's game on. And they've foul played, which is the right move, and it hasn't quite done enough to take me out, which is, well, good or bad, whichever way you want to look at it. But I will be able to throw the bubble beam and just do a little bit of chip damage. If I can get to another bubble beam, that would be absolutely spectacular. As you can see, it just does no damage, and they have to throw energy. This is going to be a power-up punch, which puts them back into neutral territory. And then I'm just going to have to try and get to the Earthquake on my Diggersby, and I'm able to get there. So is this enough to KO? Let's see. And the research comes up down the bottom a little bit early, so you can see that you've won the game, which is absolutely spectacular. As you can see, Diggersby absolutely no health, but thankfully it was able to get the win on the board. And them swapping in, yeah, the Shadow Golduck, very interesting choice. Probably lost them the game. Had they just stayed in um, with the Scrafty, they would have won the match because they would have been so boosted by the time Jellicent come back in that their dark moves would have absolutely wreaked havoc on me. So into the next one, and I've got a Kingler. So this is a good lead for me, but they instantly swap out into the Haxorus, and yeah, so probably not a great swap here. Expect the breaking, was it breaking swipe? To come through. Yeah, and as you can see, it does do a little bit of damage, and it drops my attack, which is really unfortunate. So we'll see what they want to do, and I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake here and hope they don't shield. If they shield, I'm probably in a little bit of trouble, to be completely honest. And they do shield, so that is brutal. Now they're going to be able to just farm me all the way down and have energy for whatever comes out next. So not ideal, but also it's, I mean, it is what it is, and they're going to no shield that one, which does make sense. So now I've up a shield at least, but they've got now they've got switch advantage. So what do I want to do? What will they have in the back? Breaking swipe coming through, and I will shield this one up. And I expect a second one to come through straight after it, and that's absolutely fine. So we'll throw again, and then I'll have to let this one go, and we'll see how we go. So breaking swipe coming through. How much damage is it going to do? A lot of damage. So that's really unfortunate. Going to overfarm a little bit there and swap into my Jellicent and hope that they don't have anything in the back that's going to hard wall this. They've not swapped out. They're throwing they're throwing a Night Slash, which does do quite a lot of damage. And now they're swapping into, a Shadow. Yep. So Shadow. Shift tree is not ideal. That is as perfect a counter to Jellicent as you could ask for, especially, yeah, just brutal. So I'm going to have to let this go. They've got 2 shields, so we'll see what they want to do. So Leaf Tornado comes through and he's going to KO me. And unfortunately, I've just hit. They're going to shield this, so it doesn't matter. But if they don't shield it and it's not very effective, had I thrown my, yeah, that's just a terrible, terrible mistake. Always throw lunge in that situation, and there's no point shielding. That's game over. So I just let it go. They've got 2 shields, and yeah, brutal, absolutely brutal, and my own fault there. I still wouldn't have been able to take the Kingler, but I mean, it is what it is. So went 4 and 1, which is nice, and got the Frillish as the reward. So Jellicent being in my team, let's see if we can get some extra candy, and obviously it's going to get out of there and manage to hit that excellent throw, which is nice. So let's see if we actually catch it with the excellent. We do get that extra candy. And do we get any XL? No, no XL candy, but that's fine. And from that, so from 22 to 23, 23, 27, so not too bad, and happy with that. So like I said, this team's doing really well for me. If you've got any suggestions for what I could change, throw them out. I'm happy to give something a try. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.